Inside the Trillionaire Life of Oprah Winfrey. When people hear the name Oprah Winfrey, they usually think of success. But success is too small a word for what she represents. Oprah is not just wealthy, she is powerful in a way that money alone cannot explain. Her life operates on a scale that feels almost unreal, not because of excess for the sake of excess, but because of what happens when influence, trust, timing, and storytelling collide perfectly. If there were such a thing as a trillionaire lifestyle, not measured in dollars but in reach and impact, this is what it would look like. Oprah's story is often told as inspiration, and for good reason. Poverty, instability, trauma, and exclusion shaped her early life. But what gets overlooked is how rare it is for someone to not only escape those conditions, but to build an empire so deeply rooted in credibility that people across generations still listen. That credibility is the foundation of everything she owns, everywhere she lives, and every room she walks into. Her wealth is not loud. It does not announce itself with spectacle. It reveals itself through access. Private estates spread across some of the most valuable land in the world. Properties chosen not just for size, but for privacy, symbolism, and control. In California, her Montecito estate is not just a mansion. It is a compound. Acres of manicured land, ocean views, security that blends into the landscape, and neighbors who define the highest tier of global influence. This is not celebrity real estate. This is legacy positioning. What makes Oprah's lifestyle fascinating is restraint. There's luxury everywhere, but it is quiet. No gold-plated excess, no performative displays. Everything is intentional. The homes feel less like trophies and more like sanctuaries. Spaces designed for thinking, hosting, and retreating from noise. When you reach a certain level of power, attention becomes the most expensive currency. Oprah spends heavily to avoid it. Her daily life reportedly follows a rhythm built around control of time. That alone is a luxury few people ever experience. No rushing, no reactive schedules. Meetings happen when they serve purpose. Travel happens when it aligns with intention. This kind of freedom does not come from wealth alone. It comes from owning platforms rather than renting them. That distinction matters. Oprah does not depend on studios, networks, or algorithms to exist. She built her own ecosystem: television, publishing, production, partnerships, education, wellness. Each branch feeds the others. That integration turns income into permanence. It is the difference between being rich and being untouchable. Then, there is her relationship with brands. When Oprah endorses something, industries move. Books become bestsellers overnight. Companies see valuations spike. Entire markets pivot. That level of influence is rarely sustained for decades, yet hers has only matured. That is why calling her life trillionaire makes sense, not in cash, but in economic gravity. Her travel reflects that same philosophy. Private jets not as status symbols, but as time machines. Direct routes. Controlled environments. Privacy that allows real rest. When Oprah travels, it is not to be seen. It is to arrive prepared. That mindset defines her lifestyle more than any physical asset. Even her media presence today demonstrates restraint. She does not chase relevance. Relevance comes to her. Interviews, specials, or media appearances are events precisely because they are selective. Scarcity creates attention, and attention is amplified by decades of earned credibility. She understands the principle that overexposure erodes authority, and she structures her engagement accordingly. Every public interaction is intentional, every message strategic. Oprah's wellness practices and focus on longevity reflect another element of extreme influence. Access to the best medical care, nutrition, and knowledge is not vanity, it is a strategic asset. A trillionaire life is not just about wealth accumulation, it is about sustaining oneself to maintain influence, control, and purpose. Health, rest, and mental clarity are part of the system that allows her to operate on this extraordinary scale. Psychological intelligence is a critical dimension of her life. Oprah's empire is built on empathy, deep listening, and understanding people at scale. She anticipates cultural shifts, senses audience needs, and cultivates trust in ways that compound over decades. Influence without empathy rarely lasts. Her ability to connect authentically with millions while maintaining private autonomy is a rare skill that amplifies her life at a level few can comprehend. Her alignment of identity and wealth is another essential factor. There is no disconnect between who Oprah is publicly and how she lives privately. That alignment reduces cognitive dissonance, enhances credibility, and allows freedom from performative behaviors that consume attention and energy. Luxury in her world is not compensation, it is enhancement. Spaces, routines, and investments reflect values and long-term goals rather than temporary satisfaction. The notion of a trillionaire lifestyle is not a hyperbolic claim about net worth. It is a recognition of scale, the scale of influence, autonomy, narrative control, and legacy building. Very few people in history have achieved such alignment between financial assets, personal influence, and cultural authority. Oprah has done it while maintaining privacy, stability, and credibility, a combination almost impossible to manufacture artificially. Her life reveals how extraordinary power operates quietly. Most narratives about wealth focus on display and consumption. Oprah's lifestyle teaches a different lesson. True power and impact are often subtle, integrated, and controlled. From her estates and travel to her media empire, philanthropic systems, and inner circle, every aspect is designed to preserve influence, maximize autonomy, and create compounding impact. Even the way she manages her time and energy reflects this philosophy. Every interaction is curated. Every platform she engages with is part of a broader system. When a public figure can dictate the pace of their own life, it is a form of wealth more profound than money alone. Freedom to decide, freedom to act, freedom to shape reality, these are the hallmarks of a trillionaire lifestyle, even if literal net worth does not reach $1 trillion. Oprah's story also demonstrates the compounding nature of strategic influence. Early career decisions, calculated risks, and carefully nurtured relationships created feedback loops that amplified every subsequent opportunity. Unlike wealth that is purely transactional, influence compounds over time, producing returns that are social, cultural, economic, and moral. Few individuals reach this level of integration in life, career, and legacy. At the center of this lifestyle is sovereignty, the ability to define one's own path, control one's narrative, and build enduring systems. Whether in media, philanthropy, personal life, or investments, every move reflects that sovereignty. That is what separates extreme wealth from a trillionaire lifestyle. Wealth alone does not guarantee control, impact, or autonomy. Oprah's life demonstrates the rare intersection of all three. Oprah Winfrey's lifestyle, viewed holistically, reveals something profound. It is less about material possessions and more about autonomy, trust, influence, and control. Luxury is part of the picture, but it is subtle, intentional, and functional. Travel, estates, media ownership, philanthropy, relationships, and personal wellness all operate as interconnected systems designed to protect and amplify her power, reach, and legacy. This is a life built for impact, longevity, and control at the highest levels. If this deep dive into Oprah's trillionaire-like lifestyle gave a new perspective on wealth, influence, and legacy, make sure to like the video so more people can see it. Subscribe for more in-depth stories that explore lives operating on a scale most of us can barely imagine. And share this with someone who still thinks extreme wealth is just about money instead of influence, autonomy, and lasting impact.